Zohran Mamdani CNN interview was so moronic that even Abby Phillip couldn't let it slide. Wow. I haven't seen these clips yet, so I'm gonna be reacting live to them. But it's funny to listen to these socialists, these communists, and try to talk about how wonderful socialism and stuff really is when we don't really have any real world examples. And then I get people in the comments talk about, what about Denmark? What about Finland? Well, they're really not socialist nations. If you ask any person from Denmark or Finland or any of these other countries that they name, are they socialist countries? They would tell you flat out, no, they are not true socialistic countries. And because socialism really benefits absolutely no one. Capitalism helped more people from poverty than any other system ever created. That's a fact. I don't care what socialists come out and try to change stuff. We got test cases, we got history to back up everything that I'm saying here. No matter what the socialists say in the comments or the socialists like Zohran try to talk about. But we're gonna play the clips and hear what he has to say, and hear Abby Phillip retorts. So y'all know I'm no fan of Abby Phillips, but I'm interested to see what she has to say about this. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from Red State, and they report that it's not often I have a reason to give Abby Phillip credit. I agree with that statement. But you know what they say about blind squirrels and finding nuts. The left-wing host, who typically spends her time trying to lecture Scott Jennings for being right about everything, interviewed communist New York City mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani, who is currently the favorite to win the position. Needless to say, it was like watching a child try to explain quantum physics. I like that analogy. During their sit down, Phillip pressed Mamdani on his government-owned grocery store proposal. It didn't go well for him because they don't have the money to do this. They don't have the resources to do it. But let's hear what Abby Phillip and Zohran are saying in this clip. Here we go.
And why is the government a better solution for a lack of grocery stores, food deserts, than just working with the private sector to have them do what they know how to do, which is run grocery stores? What's your answer to that?
There are more than 1,000 grocery stores in New York City. I'm proposing creating 5 additional ones, one in each borough of New York City that the city would run, and that would guarantee cheaper groceries, not free food, but cheaper groceries. And part of that is because food is a necessity for New Yorkers. It's a necessity for everyone. And yet it's something that people are being priced out of. And we can see the promise and the possibility of a public option. And we've seen in studies that have been done about the applicability of this in an urban setting like Chicago, that this is something we can actually deliver right here in New York City.
But there was another example in Kansas City where they had a government-run grocery store, and it's been there for years, but it's on the verge of closing because it doesn't work. They've been riddled with crime. They've dealt with just a lack of inventory. There are other examples where it just hasn't worked because, frankly, the government is not that good at being in the business of being in grocery stores.
Wow, I can't believe she's absolutely right. We got test cases to prove that this never works. Look at what happened in socialist Russia. Look, with empty shelves, and the same thing happened in same thing happened here when we try to bring it here. It does not work. We got tests, we got use cases to show that it doesn't work. Government can't run anything. You really expect government to do a better job at running a grocery store than the public? It's not gonna happen. Government can't run a lemonade stand, let alone run a freaking grocery store. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that she even said that. But it's incredible to me that our country has gotten to a place where slick talking communists are not only being taken seriously, but can win major elections, even in blue areas like New York City. Has this trust fund even bothered to consider anything he's actually saying? Let's game this out. And that's true. He's a trust fund baby. He's a nepo baby. He never done anything, ran a business or anything like that before. And y'all gonna make him mayor of a major city? It's crazy to me. But if you put 5 government-owned and run grocery stores spread out across the city, several things are gonna happen. If the groceries truly are cheaper, the stores will be overwhelmed and it will be essentially impossible to keep things in stock. I know what the communists are going to say, but if that happens, then it's a success, and that just means you open even more government-owned stores. The problem is that money is not infinite. Again, we have test cases. New York City will not be able to sell groceries at a loss forever. In fact, it's already been revealed that the funding Mamdani believes he's going to use for this derives from his inability to read a government website properly. The millions he claims are sitting in the bank don't actually exist. That's because what he's talking about here is the funds are a private fund. It's not a government fund. These funds were put together by public or private, I should say, put together by private grocery stores. That's their fund. The grocery stores, the private grocery stores created this fund. It's not a government fund. So the money that he thought he can use to create these grocery stores really is not there. That's why I asked earlier, how he's gonna fund this. But that's the reason Kansas City, which is run by Democrats, had to close its city-owned grocery store. Like I said, we had test cases. It had basically turned into a copy of late Soviet-era enterprises with empty shelves and steep funding shortfalls. We see it. We've seen this before. This is what happened if you don't know history. You're doomed to repeat it. Mamdani, who has never held a real job, like I was alluding to, and has lived off his family excesses, either hasn't considered any of this or he's so dishonest and arrogant that he doesn't care. Have we not had enough empty suits in government over the years? So here's another clip here. Let's see what happens in this clip.
Do you have a responsibility to do it first? To put cops on the street first? Maybe to ask for the National Guard on the subways, as Kathy Hochul has done in the past?
We have a responsibility to address the struggles that New Yorkers are living through. And one thing I'll say about Donald Trump.
Okay, I don't know what was the point of that clip. Oh, I get it, because she asked him a question about New York and the cops on the streets there and bringing in the National Guard, and he brings up Donald Trump. But Trump. Don't answer any real questions. But hey, if this is what New York City residents want, then it's what they'll get. Like with Europe, you can't save people who don't want to be saved. When Mamdani blows out the budget to the point of ruin, crime explodes, businesses flee, and his communist utopia fails, the rest of us will be here to shrug. We tried to warn them. So take note, take heed that if he wins, he's gonna destroy New York, and it's obvious to anyone that knows about socialism and knows history and is paying attention. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave y'all comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.